News dump. We are in July, and Goo is continuing his sick boy summer.
Oh, still sick or new sick? What's going
New
on
sick,
here?
new sick here.
Wow, okay.
After, of course, getting COVID, famously getting COVID at the top of
Mhm,
this month, my
mhm.
son then got the flu, and then I believe he passed it on to me.
Oh, yikes. So you've got, influenza COVID and now regular influenza. That's, not great. Not
Not
great
great.
for you.
It could be strep throat. I might do a strep test later.
Okay, alright. Now, the only reason why I asked this is because I don't.
Mhm.
Why would you test for strep?
I believe that you can get medicine for strep. If it's just the flu, you can, massage it, but you can't treat it.
I think you get, like, a Z-Pack or something for it, right? I don't know, is
The
that
fuck's a
pneumonia?
Z-Pack?
I don't know. I don't really know. I don't go to the doctor, Scoo,
I
come on.
might just do Vita-C. I think Vita-C or
Yeah.
Airborne might take this right out of my body.
Dayquil, NyQuil, fucking couple days of sleep,
Well, the only
back
issue
to
with Dayquil, it really plays with your, tummy.
oh, yeah, you get the turns you upside down for a little bit, but it is worth it ultimately.
Some may say that they dislike getting sick. And what I read is that Twitter may bring back the dislike button.
Wow, this kid works in news, what a transition there. Um, I really like being able to, um, you know, sheepishly thumbs down or get across my disapproval for anything and everything
Mhm.
online, so I am all for dislike buttons.
I don't know. Dealing with dislikes on YouTube hurts my feelings, so I'd really like for this not to be a thing.
Hey, Reddit is built on upvotes and downvotes, so I'm all about it.
News dump. RIP many of people since our last news dump. We had 4 celebrity deaths since that episode. Shelley Duvall, Dr. Ruth Westheimer, Richard Simmons, and Shannon Doherty.
Almost at a fifth too, if you wanna get real
Oh, yeah,
topical.
let's not get into that.
Shelley Duvall is I don't know. She's a terrible actress, but she
You
had
know,
that one
no, no,
good
no, I was
movie.
just gonna say, let's not speak ill of the dead.
Well, she can't defend herself, so that's fair. Richard Simmons, all-time great personality.
Yeah.
Richard Simmons grew up, in an era too early. I wish Richard Simmons grew up in the internet era because he would have been even more famous. Great personality. Shannon
He was pretty
Doherty,
famous, though. He's
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
famous.
he capitalized on VHSs, so that's not, that's impressive to say the least. Shannon Doherty, I think we all, had a wank to her at one point or another. Of course,
You
both
are
of us
not the right person to talk about death with.
Both of us were a bit too young for 90210, but did love her on Charmed for 3 or 4 seasons there, and, she was also in Mallrats?
Mallrats. Yes, that's
Yeah,
how I would know her
mhm,
after Jason Lee and her on the elevator.
and, Dr. Ruth, she was fine, she was notable,
I'm
still
more of a, who was it
Sue
Suzanne?
Johansson,
Johansson. It was Sue
Johansson,
Johansson, thank you.
much more fun old woman sex personality than Dr. Ruth, but,
Well,
there's room for 2.
Dr. Sue was Sue Johansson a doctor?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably not. She was just kinda there. She's like, "I might have a
She
doctorate."
just had sex with thousands of people.
Her answer to everything, though, was, "Just try a butt plug." It doesn't matter what happened. "Oh, my car won't start."
They're
Try
like the Coke and Pepsi of old women talking sex, so you can always have room for both.
Would you say that Dr. Ruth would be the Coke and
No,
then
she'd be the Pepsi.
I
Talk
feel
Sex
like Johansson would
Talk
be
Sex with
Dr.
Sue
Pepper.
Johansson
No,
was all an all-time show.
I would say Dr. Pepper for Dr. Sue Johansson. She's not a doctor. I keep on calling her a doctor. I don't know if she is a doctor or not.
Talk Sex Doctor, same syllables, it gets confusing. Sue Johansson, carat sign facing her over Dr. Ruth.
Okay, so just to get I just gave you 4 people,
Yeah.
and you said disrespectful things about 3 of them.
So, do you want me to rank them in
No, no,
terms
no,
of who
no, no,
I'll
no, no,
miss?
no, 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 no. Let's just move on. No, we've had enough. News dump. The weekend box office numbers are in, and actually, Longlegs did pretty well in its opening weekend,
Yeah,
correct?
for sure.
Despicable Me 4, though, $44.5 million, just dominating. Just gentle minions are out in full force.
Yeah, Inside Out 2 still making money as
Mhm.
well, finished 3rd with 20.7.
Right now, by the way, it is now the highest grossing Pixar movie of all time.
That's still crazy to me because
Yeah.
it's in the lower third probably of Pixar movies. I want to talk about Long Legs for a second. So I think I'm going to go see that hopefully
Mhm.
before the end of the week. I was reading some comps to it being the name escapes me. Um Hannibal Lecter.
Silence of the Lambs.
I was reading some comps saying this, reading about this, saying it was a like Silence of the Lambs light,
Okay.
sort of in that same vein. Micah Monroe, you might have seen her in some things, but anyways, the big thing here is Nick fucking Cage
They held that pretty
plays
long. Good job.
the villain in
Mhm.
this movie, and apparently he does a fucking tremendous job. 78 on Metacritic, so they're really liking it. Only 64% on the audience, but again, it is a horror movie, so you can't expect everyone going in to like it. But again, 22.6 million there for an R-rated horror movie is sky high. I think the studio is at Neon is the studios, something like that. It's their biggest opening weekend ever. So that's one we definitely got to get to.
News dump. X-Men 97 season 3 is in development, and they have found their new writer, Matthew Chauncey. He'll be taking over for season 3. This is via Deadline. He has wrote 5 episodes in each of the first 2 seasons of What If, and he's also worked on 15 total episodes of that show. Bo DeMayo's script for season 2 has been revised.
You know what show I don't really like, Goo? What
What If?
If?
I don't like
Yeah.
it either.
So I don't really like this
No,
free
but what
agent
I'm
signing
hoping
here.
for, though, is that, the groundwork is laid.
Yeah,
You don't
it's
have to
fair.
go crazy here.
That's fair, but I also feel like by season 3, we will be on, like, a new storyline,
Yeah.
so I don't have great faith in this Matthew Chauncey character. I get some of DeMayo's scripts have to be reworked and revised because they were very early additions based off of what happened in season 1, but they gotta change a little bit of that
Yeah.
stuff up. I've got great faith that season 2 is gonna be phenomenal, but going forward, not so much.
News dump. Kevin Feige spoke about superhero movies. Mac, what did he say?
Yeah, this is an interesting quote here, Goo, and I wanna hear your take on it because I think he's mostly speaking accurately, but he might be fibbing a little bit. He said, I've never been a big believer in superhero movies being a genre in and of itself. We make different types of movies. It's about making engaging, entertaining films that have to be experienced in a theater with a crowd and is worth people getting into their cars and making the trip. Now, I think we can argue the best MCU movies do that, but I also think you can make an argument that they have been making some of these movies just for the sake of making them.
Okay, so first off, superhero movie is the genre. That's always, if there's a superhero in the movie, that's the top genre, and then everything else is
I
the
don't
subgenre.
so, like, if you go by IMDb, superhero is not a genre. I don't even know if
Get off your
comic
high
is,
horse.
you know? So, it's like action adventure, it all kind of falls under that, but for the sake of, what we do, there's clearly superhero or comic book movies, whatever you wanna call them. Um, but I think he's getting to the point that we all make when the MCU is at their best. Like it just happens to be a comic book or superhero movie, but it is a great drama or it is a great espionage movie. You know, something to that effect.
That's kind of their go-to, though, of like, guys, we're getting back to Winter Soldier. That's what we're doing right now, and it doesn't always succeed.
It definitely, especially with the upcoming new Captain America movie, it definitely feels like they're going to try to get back to Winter Soldier.
Speaking of the new Captain America movie, news dump. We got our first trailer for Brave New World. Our first look at Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross.
It's a brave new world.
Oh,
Some
that was not great. I thought that
some
was like a pre-existing song that, like,
no.
not just Aladdin.
No, just an
Was part
Aladdin
of it.
ripoff
Okay,
there.
not
Good.
great, not great.
My 2 biggest takeaways from this is it seems like Giancarlo Esposito is gonna be prominently featured in this film
Yeah,
as the main bad guy. He apparently is gonna be playing someone called George Washington Bridge. That sounds fake because that's the real name of a bridge based off a real person. Apparently, there's a Marvel character named George Washington Bridge. Number 2,
yes,
they're finally going to address this big celestial in the middle of the ocean, Tiamat, and I believe the battle of this in this movie is going to be over the adamantium
like that.
found on Tiamat.
Okay, so what I picked up from this is we get pretty much a joke ripping off the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
Mhm, mhm.
when, Anthony Mackie's like, "Ah, I like your new look." It's like when DJ Jazzy Jeff, asked on Viv, "Oh, you look different since giving birth."
Yeah.
It's fun. Let's take a little tip of the cap to it. We get it.
Sure,
They
sure,
changed their
sure.
actors. He also pointed out, well, yeah, if you have a mustache, you can't be voted president, which does make sense. So give him
Rules us
that.
both out.
Captain America has wings.
Yep. Yep, 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 yep,
That
yep.
scene looked pretty cool, and that kind of brings me back in. Because going into this, you're a little skeptical. You're saying $300 million. How did they spend this money? Why did they spend this money? Was this they shot one movie, didn't like it, had to do a bunch of reshoots to fix it? This one, it wasn't even 2 minutes. It was like a minute 50 trailer.
Yeah,
Kind of
it
pulls me
wasn't
back in.
much.
And like everybody, I think everybody on the internet has said this. Everybody who has spoken about this movie has said this. I am disappointed that we've been shown the Red Hulk.
Well, we got shown the back of Red Hulk, so there's still more to be revealed there. Goo, I don't know much about Red Hulk. The one thing I do know is that his like skin like actually heats up. Like the angrier he gets, he like
Oh,
turns into like a
I
big
like that.
fireball.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's he can get like really really hot. Um, Second thing, which I think is a good point that I've been reading about on the internet. Red Hulk and most of the other Hulks, in fact, Bruce Banner might be the only Hulk that has a split personality. Like Red Hulk still shares the consciousness of President Thunderbolt Ross. Like it's still the one and the same. It's not a split personality like Bruce Banner and Hulk. So that's like an interesting thing to note and think about for the character.
I also know this about Red Hulk is that he attracts bulls.
Right. Right. Fucking nailed that.
I'm not able to access the soundboard that I'm using right now, so these are all the presets. They're pretty good, and they might be better than what we usually use, so credit to them.
It's like you have a little Tykes soundboard in front of you.
News dump. Also got a trailer for the new Gladiator movie. If you check out the like to dislike ratio on YouTube, as of right now, 61% dislike. I didn't think this trailer was that bad. Is there just people who didn't want a sequel to this that just don't want to give it a chance?
That strikes me as people did not know this movie was coming out. Of course, we did. We've been known for a while now. I'm the opposite. Didn't really care for it. Saw the trailer. I said, you know what? I think I want to
This
watch
kind
this
of
movie.
sold me. This
Think
sold
I'm
me.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Definitely
Although
sold me.
I'll say this about us: we're easily impressed.
Yeah, and like once I see Denzel being cool, I'm like, all right, I'm in.
I see Denzel. I see a fucking rhino at the Coliseum, and
Yeah,
you
it
expect me not to be impressed?
filling the Coliseum with water. Come on, I'm in on that.
And then he like throws sand, and the rhino runs into a wall.
Yeah, in.
In news dump. We live in time. We got a trailer for the new Flo Pugh Garfield movie. This is an R-rated love story, and Mac is gonna cry.
I may. I'm probably gonna love this movie. Two of the best actors going right now, especially Garfield. I love that it's R-rated. This feels like it's gonna be a more wholesome version of a Marriage Story that came out a few years ago with ScarJo and Adam Driver. All the same acting, but with more love instead of more hate. It also looks like it's gonna take us through like 3 different stages in their life, and I'm just
From what
really
I
looking
read
forward to
on
these 2.
A24's X account, it is a decade-spanning romance.
All right, yeah, I like that. I'm in.
News dump. Got a teaser for Severance.
Listen, season 1 was awesome. Really, really good. I think a step down from being amazing, but pretty close to it. Phenomenal idea. Really cool sci-fi concept. The problem was season 1 ended in April of 2022, and we're not getting season 2 until the beginning of 2025. How the fuck is that a thing? Like you could have almost a whole movie franchise in the span between these 2 seasons of television. Like, come on. This is not Game of Thrones, end of Game of Thrones. We got to take an extra year and make this sure this is right. This is the second season of a show. Like you're losing me already here.
As someone who still needs to watch season 1, is there like that much outside of the writing? Because obviously this is a very well-written show. I believe I've read for the most part. Like special effects or like post-production that they have to do?
No. It's actually pretty bare bones as far as Like, if you're looking for a sci-fi show that doesn't have a lot of CGI and special effects, it's one of this.
Okay.
It's one like this. This is more conceptually sci-fi, and it's a fantastic idea. I think this will work out well for you, having not seen season 1. You can catch it at the beginning of next year, roll it right into season 2. I'm sure it's gonna be really good. It's hard to stay interested in a show that gives you a season every 3 years.
News dump. Got our first trailer, or a new trailer, for Watchmen Chapter 1.
Yeah, I believe this is gonna be a two-piece, thing, not a trilogy, animated based off the graphic novel, obviously. It looks awesome. I think this is gonna be, we loved the HBO miniseries Watchmen. I think this is gonna be the best version, for Watchmen, this animated stuff.
I would say that, and this is me not having any knowledge of anything. This might be better in the fact that it's truer to the story.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be like, I think, a literal adaptation of the
Mhm.
graphic novel, and of course, I'm sure it's gonna be R-rated, so why not? We're in.
You think we're gonna hang dong in this?
For sure. Absolutely gonna see cock.
Gotta see cock.
Need it.
News dump. Got a tease, our first little poster. It's a tease poster, not a real movie poster, but
A
for
toaster.
5 Shrek 5, which, if I can just get past my sick boy summer of 2024
Yeah, yeah.
and live until 2026.
Yeah, it's 2 years.
It's 2 years away, July 1st. If I can make it that long, I am in for a treat of the mind, soul, and heart.
Do like that you turned the movie title into a German word. The big piece here is that Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz are all coming back. I never saw Shrek 4, so maybe
Shrek 4 is better
I
than
get
Shrek 3.
okay, alright, so maybe I'll get to that in the next 2 years.
John Hamm is a real sexy ogre.
Alright, I like that.
I would say the biggest surprise out of this is that Cameron Diaz, who I believe has retired from acting, would be coming back.
Well, this is like a easy one. Just show up to the studio for like 2 weeks and you get all your shit done.
I do like how someone did a Star Wars parody, and it was Shrek standing with all of like the mystical creatures behind me. He's like, I can't believe this has happened, but Farquaad has come back. News dump. Ron Howard's Eden is set to premiere at the Toronto Film Festival in September. This is important to you because you're going to show up with no pants.
Yeah, this is the movie that is starring both Sydney Sweeney and Ana de Armas, maybe 1 and 2 on the planet right now. Also Vanessa Kirby, a nice, bronze medal there.
Yeah.
This movie should just be called Come. C-U-M. That's it. Just call it Come. That's what it's going to be for all of us. Super excited to watch it.
Do you refer to it as Winnie the Poohing or Donald Ducking when you're just wearing a shirt with no pants?
I thought you meant masturbating. Winnie the Poohing or Donald Ducking. I like Winnie the Poohing more. I'm in on that.
I say Winnie the Poohing more. Like if I'm walking around the house, just t-shirt, no pants, Winnie the Pooh. My wife, same thing, Winnie the Pooh.
In college, when you needed some alone time, we used to say we were going to go shopping for shoes in the room. Gotta go buy some Air Force Ones online.
Why would you tell someone what you're doing? Because then if you're out after 30 seconds, you got to explain that. If you're out after 3 hours, you're like,
I need like 10 to 15 minutes. I personally like the 10 to 20 minute videos. You 20 minutes, go
you
take
put
a shit.
On and you're like, I have 20 minutes. Don't exceed this.
Go down the hall to our friend's room. Just know I need 10 to 20 minutes and you'll be all set.
News dump. Got a behind the scenes teaser for Stranger Things season 5.
Yeah, it's they're finally shooting it. They're in the process of producing it. This comes out next year. Season 1 came out 8 years ago. They started shooting it 10 years ago, though. Millie Bobby Brown.
Insane.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown said, we started making the show when I was 10. I am currently 20. Half of her life has been dedicated to the character of 11 in Stranger Things. And I hope they stick the landing. I'll tell you, coming off season 3, I was not that hopeful. But season 4 was so great that I'm like, all right, amazing. I think they're working towards it. I think they're going to nail the landing here.
Same here. And I am like, so what year are we jumping into with season 5 though? Are we going to do a little jump forward? Because if this is all happening within like 4 or 5 years, but there's 10 years between children growing.
Well, I think you can argue they're in like 6th or 7th grade to start. and you can maybe age them up to like seniors in high
I'd have
school
to
by
watch
the
it.
end.
I do want to rewatch season 1, though. I really love season 1.
I still think season 2 was the
No,
pinnacle.
season 2 might be better.
And
If you
season
take that
4
one
was just
episode
as
out.
good as those
Season
first
4 is
2.
great too, but I think if you look at it just as a single season, like season 1 is pretty fucking tight.
I just think seasons 1, 2, and 4 all belong together, and I think
Yeah.
season 3 really stands out as like not up to snuff with the
No,
rest of
season
them.
3 to me just is it's not a waste of time. You need it to kind of patch the gap, but I did not care for it.
Kicking the can down the road for sure.
Yes. And I didn't like the look of it either.
Yeah, the CGI wasn't as good as it was in season 4.
Not only that, I think at that point it had enough money to make it look good as opposed to looking kind of grubby.
I'm still upset that Billy never fucked Karen Wheeler. So I mean, I never got that.
Maybe a ghost will.
Okay,
Maybe
a ghost fucking.
Yeah.
All right,
News down. Emma Roberts blames you, the internet culture, but specifically Mac, for the failure of Madame Web, saying everybody made it into a joke.
So first of all, it seems very apparent that like Emma Roberts is one of the least liked people in Hollywood at this point. So
How do you get that out of this?
that aside, I don't know. That's like like that's like a director coming out saying you don't get it, you don't understand it. No. You made this for the masses. The masses, everyone rejected this. No one liked this movie. You can't then tell us we're in the wrong because we're laughing at how bad it is. How about you go back to the fucking people that made it and be like, hey, how about higher quality?
No, but not only that, if you can sense or feel, a heartfelt attempt at a movie or at a script or like
Yep.
you could feel the passion in the movie, you'll take it easier on the movie. This felt like a hollow piece of garbage.
Yeah, or even if it's like 50-50, the internet's split, the critics are split, make whatever argument you want to get. That's where you can be like, oh, you don't get it. When you have an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes, no. This one's on you guys. That one's not on us. Come on.
News down. Mac. College football 2025. What is this game called? What is this?
College football 25.
It's not NCAA football?
No, I think they separated so they don't need the agreement with NCAA anymore. They just need it with like the players.
Okay.
This is back. So NCAA 14 came out in 2013. That game has lasted a lot of people 11 years. There are people that still own PS3s just to play that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I put this out in the world. I hope someone can make this edit at some point. Tony Stark dying in Endgame. I want, that's NCAA 14.
So you want the box over his face. You want the box.
Pepper Potts comes in to Tony, you can rest now. We're going to be okay. And that's
the box of 25 over her face.
There you go. That's the edit right there. That's going to make millions.
And if you could make the boxes talk like they're Terrence and Phillip from South Park, that'd be even better.
There you go. We just wrote it.
Looking at you, everybody. But this is what you'll be doing for the next 6 months. Is that what I'm told?
2 months, and then Madden comes out, and I'll be more interested in Madden. But
will you still be interested in recording a podcast at the end of the week, or will you be tied up?
No, I could make, like 41 minutes for you.
You know what that podcast will be about?
Long legs?
News dump! The boys.
Oh.
Season 4 is wrapping up this next week. We learned in the penultimate episode of the season that Starlight has been kidnapped. Huey fucks a shapeshifter. Huey's having a real tough time right now. Huey has been assaulted for several episodes now in a row. Ryan's had enough. Ryan does not want to play the game, does not want to play this hero game anymore. And is the Deep's octopus dead?
I see. We last 2 episodes ago, we saw the octopus just freelancing on the bed. So I feel like the octopus definitely is faking the death just for like dramatic.
No, but if she's left out in the closet for several days,
maybe, yeah. I don't know if the octopus is completely dead. Not that really matters, but Huey has been SA'd back-to-back episodes here. Yeah. So he's really, and his dad died. He's really going through
a real tough stretch right now. Do you like this news? And I read this, is that Alonzo, he plays Mother's Milk. He wants the show to end on a cliffhanger, and then they do a franchise-ending movie. Anthony Starr is down for this.
No, I don't think I want that. I want them to wrap up our story, and I want them to do it in the 5th season, and it doesn't need to be a tight little bow on it, but the
Mhm.
story we've been telling, I don't wanna extend it another 2 years for them to make a movie, you know? Just finish season 5, let it be the end. If there are movies in this universe to be made, sure,
Mhm.
but I don't want our story to be extended another 2 years just for the sake of a movie.
I think we've already talked about this, but I really do want Butcher's story, I want Homelander's story, and possibly the Seven story to be wrapped up within these 5 seasons.
Yeah, they absolutely should. And then once again, I don't think we're gonna get a ton in this series or in this season finale. I think they're setting up for season 5, Ryan versus Homelander type of thing. I think the end of this season will give Ryan the motivation to sort of push back against his father.
You ready for the second straight week of this? Homelander killed me wife and stole me son.
Homelander killed me wife and stole me son.
What is the accent you're doing?
I'm just copying you.
Am I hearing myself wrong? Because in my head, I sound just
Homelander.
Evan.
I can do Homelander good.
Homelander.
Homelander.
There's no H.
Yeah. Oh, fucking H.
Guys, go to social media right now and not tweet, but post us you saying that.
You turned it into a Shiver Me Timbers thing. I just copied you.
Homelander killed me wife and stole me son. I do like how in the last episode, the Deep is like, I can't understand a fucking word you're saying. Which I will say, because I think I watched something from season 1. He said he was way more understandable. You could understand what he's saying in season 1 compared to now.
Well, I think he's definitely drinking more, and he's also dying, so it's a little understandable.
So do you think, like me, with my sick boy summer, I'm going to start talking like Homelander?
Well, I think, you and I as Boston area raised, the more we drink, the more we sound a little more Bostonian,
Yeah.
That's sort of what I'm getting at.
And I mean, I don't love this show, but it's a great phrase from How I Met Your Mother. They call it revertigo.
Okay. All right.
Is that
That's not
either when
bad.
you do that or you get around old friends, you revert to your old self?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. 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 That's not bad.
Yeah. But Homelander.
Homelander.
News dump. Acolytes.
That'll be 2 episodes from now. So, boys, then we'll do Acolyte.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Do I have to do this episode?
Oh, what? Talk to me here, Agu. So, episode 7. Again, 1 episode left in this show. It was another mostly flashback episode, but this time echoing the Jedi side of the Osha May beginnings. And that is not ideal before a finale, admittedly. However, I do really like the way the show is framing the Jedi, which has been hinted at before in other things. It's never really full blown told us that, hey, the Jedi also aren't that great. And this show is actually doing that. Like, yeah, they are actually aren't as virtuous as they pretend to be. And they are very much motivated by the same things that their quote unquote enemies are. So I really like that about this show. I'm just bummed out that we hopefully the finale, we're getting a lot of it, but the villain, Kamir, is fucking awesome. And we've gotten almost none of him in the second half of this season. So that's definitely a bummer. I am really enjoying the show though. Very
Here's
much
my issue.
enjoying it.
Is that I am so indifferent on it. And I
Okay.
am so Mama Bear's porridge. I don't care about it.
Well, let's reassess after the well, you could finally watch the show, so we got to talk about it. Number 2, let's reassess after the finale.
What if I can get you Nick Fryer to talk about it with?
No, I don't want Fryer's stupid laugh across from me.
But you can ask him to quote Homelander, not Homelander, Carl Urban. News dump. Twisters and Twins opens up this week. As of right now, critics have it at 80%. Metacritic 73.
I'm hot, boys. I'm hot. I
Mark.
have this in the movie draft. I just had a weird feeling this might be a Top Gun Maverick type of performance, and it's getting a little bit of that buzz. They're not saying it's as good, but they're saying it's in that same vein. 73 on Metacritic is definitely way higher than I anticipated. I bet the audience score is going to be through the roof for this. The soundtrack for this is awesome. So Glenn Powell's great. I'm very much looking forward to this movie.
Have you seen Axel F yet?
No, I'm never going to watch that movie.
It's not a bad legacy sequel. That's the only
Never
reason
gonna
why I
watch
asked
it.
you. You know
Never
what
should
the
be
issue is
made.
with that movie, and maybe we'll eventually talk about it, is that Eddie Murphy at the time of the first movie was at the height of coolness.
Mhm.
He's not there right now.
I'll tell you what, how about for that episode, I get you Nick Fryer.
And you can get him to tell me that for breakfast he's making waffles. I feel like Fryer does famously do a donkey impression, right?
Listen, I'm bad at impressions. I feel like if there's one person on planet Earth that I can guarantee is worse, it's Nick Fryer.
I can almost guarantee you that Fryer is better than you at impressions. I've heard his Jim Carrey impression.
I'll impression off me and Fryer,
I will
schoolyard.
gladly host that. You guys can go to Dunkin' Donuts and order seasonal drinks.
Yeah, there we go.
Also, Deadpool is in 2 weeks. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, we get that screening almost 1 week from right now of us
Yeah.
recording this. I am very, very much
Are you
anticipating.
gonna Winnie the Pooh it or Donald Duck it?
Oh, great question. Great question. I'm
I'm
not
gonna
sure yet.
Pooh it. I'm gonna Pooh it.
Maybe I'll duck it just so we get a little bit of both.
I'm a dead Pooh it.
Oh, I like that.
Newsed up.